Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time here, you're welcome, and my name is Florence. So for today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys some powerful prayer points that I have prayed over the years that has kind of shaped my 20s. These prayers are not just random prayers, they are prayers that I have been praying from like when I was little, and it has kind of helped me stay grounded, especially in my 20s. If this is something that you feel like you're interested in, please keep watching. And yeah, let's get into it. I'd like to start by saying that our 20s are a defining season. You're making life choices, you're trying to find or fulfill purpose, you're trying to grow spiritually, physically, financially, probably in your relationship. You're just trying to make these major moves. And let's be honest, it can be really overwhelming. And for me, prayer is one thing that has kept me grounded. It has kept me calm in the midst of all of this chaos. And I want to share with you some of these prayers that I have prayed that has helped me um kind of overcome this season. So let's dive right in. One of the biggest prayers that I have prayed is purpose. I strongly believe that God created each and every one of us with a specific assignment. Jeremiah 1 verse 5. While we were in our mother's womb, He knew us. So I strongly believe that we were pre planned for a specific purpose. And let's be honest, discovering this purpose isn't always easy. There were times where I felt lost, where I felt like I wasn't on the right track. That is why I felt the need to constantly pray to not just discover purpose, but to also walk in it. There was the need to constantly pray for clarity in life choices, in everything that I'm doing, to make sure that whatever I'm doing is aligning with my divine purpose. I also believe that purpose is not a one time discovery. I believe that it is a journey. So there is that need to always, it's not just a prayer that I pray once and for all. It is a prayer that I feel the need to constantly pray for, to make sure that every decision and every step that I make is aligned with God's divine plan and purpose for me. I believe that anything that is worth doing is worth doing well. If I'm going to commit to something, I would make sure to put my absolute best to it. There is no room for mediocrity. I like to know that whatever I'm doing, I'm maximizing full potential. But the truth is that the strength to be diligent is not always there. That is why I found the need to pray for the spirit of excellence, strength, and of joy. I'm praying for joy because I want to always make sure that in everything that I am doing it joyful. I don't want to be murmuring when doing something because then I'm not able to like maximize my full potential. Daniel, the book of Daniel has made us to understand that Daniel was distinguished because he had the spirit of excellence in him. So I found the need to pray for the spirit of excellence if I'm going to be exceptional in anything that I am doing. Also, I made it a point of duty to always pray for the spirit of diligence or the grace to be diligent even at my workplace. I don't want to go through life just doing things anyhow. I want to be excellent at whatever it is that I do, my job, relationships, my career, whatever it is I find myself doing. I want to exude the spirit, or I want to exude excellence in everything that I do. So praying for the spirit of excellence, strength, and of joy is another very important prayer point that has helped me stay grounded, that has helped me maximize potential and just be the best at whatever it is that I decide to do. I don't just pray for wisdom in decision making, I also pray for financial intelligence. In my 20s, I've come to realize that money is not just about spending, it is also about managing and multiplying it. And beyond that, I pray for divine ideas, divine creativities to create solutions and seize opportunities. Proverbs 8:12 says, I, wisdom, dwell with prudence and find out knowledge for witty inventions. The prayer for witty inventions was a prayer that I first came across during Hallelujah Challenge. I heard Pastor Nat mention it and it just kind of stuck. To be honest, I wasn't even sure what I was praying for, but over time, I sat down and I thought it through, and I asked myself, what exactly are you praying for? After thinking through what it is exactly that I was praying for, then I had a clear understanding of what I wanted. And then this prayer has helped me birth ideas, divine ideas. Um, this prayer has helped me stay creative, which ultimately yields productivity in not just like my job, but like in everything I do, in every position that I find myself, where I have to think critically. I am aware that I have the wisdom for witty inventions. During Shiloh, because the theme for Shiloh was ever winning wisdom, right? During Shiloh, Papa made us to understand that we already have wisdom in us. Every child of God has the potential to be wise. So we're not exactly praying for wisdom. We're praying for the ability or the grace to maximize this wisdom, to put it to good use. So that being said, I know that I already have the skill. I have the grace for creativity. Praying for the wisdom for witty inventions for me was praying for the ability to put this skill to good use, to put this creativity to good use, to just literally be creative enough to create solutions. Our 20s are full of so many decisions. We get to make a lot of major decisions, sometimes small, sometimes large. But in my opinion, it is the little decisions that we make here and there that actually make major life impacts. Um, there are some decisions that might seem right in the moment, but um, it could be just a huge distraction or it could lead to destruction. I mean, scripture says there's a way that seemeth right unto man, but the end thereof is destruction. So I always feel the need to pray for wisdom because to be honest, I don't know it all. Sometimes I don't even know it at all. So I pray for wisdom in decision making. I pray for guidance in decision making. I pray for discernment. Basically, I feel like discernment is key. And like I said earlier, there's some decisions that might look good on the surface, but it's just a major distraction. So I always pray to God for the wisdom to see beyond what is now or what is obvious. I mean, James said, if anyone lacks wisdom, let him ask. So, yeah, I never get tired of asking for wisdom to do very important things, very major things. So, growing up, I used to take the school bus, and that was when I was about the ages of 10 to 13, I guess. And I used to like to read signs a lot, like adverts on road. So billboards, sign, posters, like literally anything I see on the road, I'll read it. And then there was this school that we passed by every time, um, that used to have a sign that would read a quote like for the week. So they literally basically they had like a quote for every week, and then they would put out a sign in front of the school that would display the quotes for that week. And there was this particular week, the quote for the week read, wisdom is the ability to know when to speak your mind and when to mind your speech. And it just sounded so catchy. So it stuck. It was something that like just stuck in my head. Even though I didn't really understand what it meant, to be honest, I didn't like get the depth of that statement. But growing up, I started to like really think about that quote, and it started to make sense to me. I mean, Ecclesiastes tells us that there is a time to speak and a time to be silent. And I just kind of made it a prayer point because I felt the need to discern or to know when to actually speak and when to not speak. Because to be honest, there are some times that your silence would be or is more powerful than anything that you could possibly say. So I felt the need to always know to always have the wisdom to know when I should speak and when I should not speak. I mean, Proverbs even tells us that a fool is sometimes considered wise when he is silent. So this tells us that as Christians to be honest, there are times that it is better for you to be silent, and there are times that it is necessary, it is expedient for you to actually speak up. So it is important to be able to tell these times. It is important to be sensitive to these times, so that you're not speaking when you're supposed to be silent, or you're not being silent when you're supposed to speak. That is one of the reasons why I found it necessary to pray this prayer point. Because as humans, sometimes we would never know when to speak. Sometimes we feel like, okay, this is time for me not to speak, but that moment is actually a moment for you to be speaking. Like, it is expedient for you to say something at that moment. That is the moment when a closed mouth would be a closed destiny. But then there are other times when you should actually be silent. But then might feel the need to maybe defend ourselves, to maybe prove a point. But at that moment, you're supposed to be silent. So like I said, we don't always know these things. That is why I found you need to bring it to the prayer altar. Because like I said, if anyone lacks wisdom, let him ask. I've always been very intentional with like friendships. I'm a very private person. And if you know me, you know my circle is very small. And it was an intentional decision. So I am very conscious of who I let into my space or like my life. And the thing is, I would, as a human being, I would make decision based on what I see. And this could be very deceitful, this could be misleading. So that is why I found it necessary to bring this to prayer. Because God is all knowing. He sees what we cannot see. He knows what we do not know rather. So I felt the need to like always present my friendships to God, to help, to ask God to help me make the right decisions when it comes to friends. Like I said earlier, I have a purpose. Every individual has a purpose. So I don't want to be friends with someone whose purpose is not aligning with mine. Because evil communication is a corrupt good manners. If I am in the wrong circle, I will fall into the wrong situations, right? That doesn't necessarily mean that whoever I have decided to not be friends with is not a good person. It just means that the person is not good for me. The person is probably good for someone else, but not for me. So I always feel the need to bring my friendships or relationships to prayer, to make sure that whatever friendship I am in is adding value to my life, is facilitating the fulfillment of purpose in my life. And I also pray that whatever friendship I find myself in, I'm also adding value. We're not here to just take. We're also here to give. So I want to make sure that in every friendship I find myself in, I'm not a liability. And whoever is friends with me is not also a liability. So there is like there's a balance. I'm giving and I am taking equal proportion, right? Scripture says, if you're with the wise, you'll be wise, right? Yeah. Um, the kind of gatherings, the kind of blessed is a man that sitteth not in the council of the ungodly. I don't know how that relates to this prayer point. It's what just came to my head, but you get the point. So I always pray for my friends. I always pray that I am in the right circle. I always pray that whatever friendship I am is divine, so that it is making positive impact, not just in my life, but in my journey and in fulfillment of purpose. Someone said something that the friends you have today are the connection that your children will have in the future. So yeah, you want to be making meaningful connections. You want to be friends with like purpose driven people. People that are going where you're going, people that have the same motives as you do. Um if I'm traveling to, just for instance, if I'm traveling to Ghana, I'm not going to hop on a bus that has people going to Togo in it, because then we're not going the same direction. We probably are, because I think I think you pass through Togo before you get to Ghana. But you get my point. That was just a terrible example, or maybe it was a reasonable example. I don't know. I don't know geography, but like I'm saying, if you're going somewhere, you're going to hop on a bus that has the people you're going to in that bus. If not, the bus is not going to, they're not, because everybody in that bus is going somewhere else. You're the only one not going to do. For example, Jonah. Yeah, so if you're in a boat that has Jonah in it, then your journey is going to be delayed. Yeah, moving on. If you watched my previous video, you already know that I used to be very impatient. And then even though I have outgrown impatience, I still pray about it, because sometimes it creeps in subconsciously. And then scripture says, be patient in affliction and faithful in prayer, there are some things that would never happen overnight. And then just rushing the process makes it unnecessarily stressful. So I always pray for patience in life's journey. I always pray for the grace to be calm, to be patient, and just trust the process and just go with the flow. As long as God is taking the lead, it can never go wrong. So I just always pray for the grace to be patient and just follow Him. Just go with the leader. I feel like I've mentioned this a couple of times, but I struggle with anxiety. And even though I am in the recovery process, I still fervently pray about this because the fear of the unknown, the fear of not knowing what will happen next, it makes me panic. And then scripture has told us to be anxious for nothing, but that in all things through prayer and supplication. So what better way to fight anxiety if not through prayer? And also there's just this peace, this calmness, and this reassurance that comes with the place of prayer. So, and the Lord has said that He will guide us continually. So, just knowing that God is guiding me, God is taking the lead, and I know that God is taking the lead, and I know that His thoughts are always of good, of peace, and not of evil. So, I pray for the calmness as much as I am patient. I also pray to be calm because it's one thing to be patient and panic all through that waiting. So, I just don't want to wait. I want to be calm. I want to be at peace, even as I'm waiting. So yeah, I also, as long as I'm praying for, while I'm praying for patience, I'm also praying for calmness. I'm praying for peace, and I'm praying that He continues guiding me, because when I know that He's guiding me, then it makes it easier to have peace. So I always pray that He guides me continually, and that I am able to find peace in His guidance. So these are the prayers that has shaped my life in my 20s. Maybe you can relate to some of them. Maybe there are other prayers that you have prayed that has helped you. Please don't hesitate to leave a comment. It could be helpful to myself or to any other person reading. And if you like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe, share, just engage. And I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.